you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so where will I start? Thursday is when I talked to you last, and I went to the movies. I saw Little Fockers, and it was awesome. If you liked the others in the series, which was Meet the Fockers, and I can't remember, but or Meet the Parents or something. I don't know. Anyway, if you like those others in the series, you'll love Little Fockers. It has the same humor. It was great. It's hilarious. So I love that. I had a good time. Got home, and then my mom and I went to Party City to go get some decorations for my sister's 50th birthday party. And just as I was leaving, I stopped at the mailbox. So we have like this junction of a bunch of mailboxes, and it's across the street, like 2 houses down. And you know, we just walk over there and get our mail. But I was leaving and heading in that direction, so I stopped and I handed my mom the mail when I got back in the car. You know, I didn't look at it. And she's going through the mail, and she goes, "Red light camera!" And I'm like, "What?" And I'm thinking, "Mom, you got another ticket?" Because don't get me wrong, my mom has a clean driving record from the very first time she ever started driving. But a couple of months ago, no, it was actually before she moved to Albuquerque. So probably about 6 months ago, she got a ticket, and it was at, we have these cameras at red lights at some intersections in Albuquerque. And she got a ticket from the camera, okay? You get this thing in the mail, and yeah, you get a ticket. And I'm looking at her like, "You got another?" Oh my gosh, you know? Because first you have none, and now you're, oh, that's really bad. Okay. I'll tell you in just a second. And now, you know, you're getting another one. It wasn't hers, it was mine. It's like, what? What? You know, and so I was just like, that sucks, you know? She tells me what intersection it was, and you know, I'm just thinking, because I have no tickets on my record. And I was like, that's a bummer. And then I kind of just, you know, put it out of my mind, because I had IRS cloud hanging over my head, you know. And my mom was like, "No, you don't seem very upset about it." Or I don't know what she said to me, and I was like, "Mom, they have a photograph of me. There's the Corolla, you know." And yeah, I can see that the arrow, because I was in the turn lane, I can see that it's red. So obviously I went through a red light, you know, and I'm just going to get over it, because I have no time to spend worrying about this. It's done. I have to pay for the ticket, which was $75, by the way. And my mom's still like, "Oh," you know, she's gasping, and it's $75, and you know, she's upset for me, you know, and I'm just like, "Mom, don't worry about it. It's, you know, done." And so anyway, later on when I went home, I'm like, "Oh, I can get online and pay for this," because I didn't want to set this to the side and write a check later or forget about it or whatever. I wanted to take care of it, like, immediately, because I wanted it off my plate. I had the IRS appointment the next day. That's all I could think about, even though I wasn't trying to stress out about it. It was like this dark cloud over my head. So I, you know, kind of, I got online, and this is, you won't believe this part. So I go to pay it, and there's like this link, and you put in this little code that they give you, and you can actually watch a video of the incident. Yeah. So there was a videotape of, there was 2 turn lanes, and it was this major intersection, okay? It's huge. And there was a green arrow, and then it turned yellow, and then it turned red, and the car that was in the inner part of the turn lane, they stopped. I was on the outer turn lane, and I did not stop. I just kept going all the way through. It was clearly red. And, you know, after I saw that, I was like, I was lucky that I didn't cause an accident. I was lucky that I didn't hurt somebody. That was dangerous, you know? And the other thing that it recorded was my speed and the speed limit and all this other stuff. Well, the speed limit was 35 miles per hour. I was going 17 miles per hour, which tells you I wasn't trying to beat the light. I just, you know, I have no explanation for it except that I must not have been paying attention, because that wouldn't have happened if I was paying attention. So anyway, paid it, done, gone. And just now, just before I turned on the camera, a rock hit the windshield. It was so freaking loud. Well, I found where it hit the windshield. I have a huge star. Oh my god. And the crack is getting bigger as I'm driving. I've never had a crack in the windshield. I've had stars, and I always get them filled right away, you know? And yeah, it's something in New Mexico. There's always rocks in the windshields. But this one's moving. It's moving pretty darn quick, too. It's already, oh god, about 5 inches long, the crack from the star. And that one's not even as big as the big one that I got last summer that I showed you guys that I was all flipped out about. Oh my god! Anyway, back to my stories. So IRS appointment Friday comes along, and my appointment's at 9 a.m. and I'm there at, 15 till 9. And my accountant is going to meet me there. And time is going by, I had talked to the ladies up at the little information desk, and they said, just punch in this number on the telephone, and the lady I had the appointment with will come and get me. So I waited, and then about 5 till 9, I called her. She came to meet me, and I said, my accountant is supposed to meet me here, but he's not here yet, and, I guess I should probably wait for him, but I didn't want you to think that I was late or didn't care or wasn't coming or something, so, and she said, oh, no problem, just call me when he gets here, or whatever. I said, I'll give him 5 more minutes, and if he's not here in 5 minutes, I'll just ring you, and we'll take care of, business. So, about 2 minutes after 9, I called her back. He wasn't there. And just as she had opened the door to come get me, he showed up. He walked in the door. And I was like, okay, nothing like, I'm already nervous. And yeah. But anyway, I appreciated that he was there. So that was kind of cool. And you won't believe this. So on the phone, when I talked to this lady, because we had a conversation about what I was bringing and did I have any questions, and she asked me if I had receipts and, yada, yada, yada. And so I had this picture of this crotchety old lady, like Maxine or somebody, Maxine from the little cartoon figure. I pictured this crotchety old lady that was just gonna rip holes in me, She was a lovely young lady, probably in her 20s. Very professional and, sweet. And you guys, it was a breeze. It took like an hour and a half because she went through every single freaking receipt. Okay? Seriously. Every single receipt. But I had it all in order, clipped together, neatly, very organized. She asked me questions, apparently. And she did tell me again, I actually was randomly chosen. There was no red flags on my return at all. I was randomly chosen. Okay? So she went through it and she was saying that she wanted me to show her a W-2 from one of my employers, which was MSN, which is a staffing agency that I work for. Because the first part of the year, I was just doing agency work, and then the second part of the year, I started my business in the summer time. And so, apparently, that staffing agency never turned in my tax documents to the government, so they didn't have records of it. But I had a record of it, so she said, oh, good, let me take a copy. So she went and took a copy of my 2009 return, which is the one that was being audited, and my 2008 return. And I can think of all these things I could be doing right now, you know. And, you know, you're in this little cubicle and you're sweating it out and you can hear people. I mean, I heard the full conversation in the next cubicle, and this was supposed to be, you know, in the beginning of our conversation, they talk about privacy and stuff, like, you know, nurses and doctors and medical people, they have this HIPAA law that, you know, for personal privacy and stuff, and you're ensured that privacy as well when you're with the IRS. Well, I'm like, we can hear everything that's going on next door, and it doesn't sound good, you know? And then my accountant's like, yeah, it sounds like Tom Brokaw. And I'm like, lean over and see. You know, I mean, you guys, it was like a soap opera, and the guy had like this soap opera name too. It was like Darian, or he kept mentioning Darian, or I don't know what else. It was funny. I know, privacy, right? And we could hear everything, you guys, and seriously, it really did not sound all that good. But anyway, so I get out of there, shook her hand, nice, have a nice day. That was it. Clean return, as I had suspected, nothing wrong. Just have a nice day. Okay, carry on. That's it. That is it. So, dark cloud lifted. Sweating and all that tension and drama for nothing. All in my head, okay? Anyway, IRS stuff is over. I was very happy. Oh my God, I was just so thrilled. Yeah, it was awesome. So then I followed that great news up by finishing my online class. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Happy dance. Oh, I am so excited. So I had this 8-week online class, which was self-paced, okay? I don't know why they tell you 8 weeks. I guess you had to finish it in 8 weeks, but there was no instructor, and it was purely self-paced, and it was very interesting, but I finished it this weekend. And you guys, the thing about online classes, if you've ever considered doing one, here are the drawbacks. I'm trying to take my final exam, and I get a phone call, first on the landline, so I answer it. It's for my mother, so I go back into the bedroom to take it. Well, I, like an idiot, I carried my laptop with me. I was taking an exam, which was timed. I'm taking it with me, and when I got back into the den, I had lost internet connection. And I turn and I look at my modem, and I'm like, crap, there's a red light on. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't log me off this site. I mean, I was like, eh. And so I instantly, when you're using a Mac or AirBook or whatever, there's this thing called Airport, and you go up there and you can see all of the wireless in range. So I clicked whoever in the neighborhood has that wireless, and it just moved me over seamlessly and did not log me out, thank God. Because once you click on start the exam, you cannot stop it and come back and start it up again. I mean, you will have to call the help desk, and it's really against their policy. I mean, you really just have to take it. That's it, you know? And so I was like, oh, thank God, you know? I could continue taking my test, and then I get a phone call on my cell phone. It was my sister, and it's, how do you explain to somebody, I'm in the middle of taking my final exam right now, and it's timed, and it, you know, I'm just like, you know, I kind of listened, I chatted really, like, made it really brief and said, I'm online taking an exam. And she said, okay. So I texted her right after I was done. Yeah, passed the class, you know, I was so excited. So I finished my final exam. I got an 87%. I was very happy about that, you know. So there was 50 questions. I had plenty of time. So I was going back from question number 1, and when I hit about question number 5, I was reviewing to make sure I liked the answers I chose. When I was about on question number 5, I'm like, screw this, I'm wasting time. You know what? I am done. And I just clicked done, and poof, the grade shows up. And I was like, okay, I'm happy with that. I'm done with the class. So now on to bigger and better things. The test that I have, that's the next cloud hanging over my head. So I signed up for this test, and they give you 6 months to do it. So far I've wasted 1 month, and done because I really believe that I can get it done in 2 months and take the exam. So I think what my next best step to do is sign up for the exam, because they give you 6 months to take the exam, but I haven't actually